Hey guys, it's me, skysamfreeman here, and I'm back with a countdown video. I've never really done anything like this before, so I figured I'd try to, maybe mix it up a little bit and see how you guys like it. So I decided to make a list of my top 15 relaxing video game songs. Now I'm not sure if many of you would consider some of these relaxing, but they're relaxing to me, so yeah. This is my own personal list, so, if you do want to add some in that you think would be good, just put them down in the comments and I'll be sure to check them out. So, with that said, here's number 15. My favorite Sonic game ever, Sonic Adventure 2. I mean, heck, I've almost A-ranked the entire game. I mean, look at this. The Sonic levels are always my favorite, especially Metal Harbor. And while the music here is amazing, we're here to talk about the music on one of the coolest features of the game, the Chow Garden. What I loved about this was that you can take all the items that you got inside the levels and bring them here and sort of just, chill out for a bit and relax and also upgrade your Chow's stats and just so many cool things. And the music is really good too. I just love the summery, relaxing feel it has. And while the Chow Garden is cool and all, I'm not exactly the best Chow raiser. I mean, yeah. Okay, so I'll admit I've never actually beaten the Zelda Oracle games. I've played them a decent amount but never got too far in them and just always got lost. Well, I've never actually been a good Zelda player, but, But the music in these games is really good. I mean, the 8-bit rendition of the Song of Storms is pretty much the pinnacle. It's fantastic. But what I'm here to talk about is the house theme. It's just so simple and comforting. It's got that feeling of safety and just peacefulness about it. Not really much else I can say about it. Now, if only I could just get myself to finish these games. Pikmin. Now, I've never really been big into RTS type games, but just recently I actually sat down and completed Pikmin, which I consider a personal achievement because I never thought I was going to beat it. It's actually easier than I thought. But I'm getting off topic. The music in this game is really good, especially the Forest of Hope. What I love is that it sets up this peaceful atmosphere and it perfectly complements the environment. Even though it is a bit weird to listen to while your Pikmin are getting eaten by a giant Bulborb. It's so sad. They're all dead. They're all dead. I was originally going to put this alongside the Oracle House theme, but since I decided to expand my list, I thought it deserved its own spot. Link's Awakening was the first Zelda game I ever owned and played, and I spent many hours with it. And yet I still never got far, but wandering around the same areas over and over again never got old to me. Probably because I love the music so much. I used to put my Game Boy speaker up to my ear and just chill out on my bed and listen. Especially the house theme. It's just amazing. Not only is it relaxing, but it has a certain slight creepiness to it in a way. Almost like an adventurous, I wonder what lies here kind of feel to it. Overall, I just love it. Oh yeah, Harvest Moon. Growing up, I had friends, and even my sister, who had Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life on the GameCube. And I played it a little bit, but the one Harvest Moon game I did play that I obsessed over a lot was Harvest Moon: Friends of Mineral Town. Now, the song I'm going to put on the list for number 11 is the Spring theme. It's kind of hard to explain why I like this one so much. Ever since I heard it, it's just always been one of those songs I go back to. The original version from Harvest Moon Back to Nature, which Friends of Mineral Town is a remake of, is really good as well, but this is the one I grew up with and prefer. Man, I wonder why I ever stopped playing this game. Oh yeah, Pajama Sam. Of course I had to put one of these tracks on here. I mean, come on. Pajama Sam and all the humongous games were pretty much the driving force of my childhood that pushed me into making videos right now. So much so that I put Sam in my username. But of course, we're here to talk about music. Sam's Room from Pajama Sam 1 is probably one of the best tracks in the game. It's just a great way to start the game off. It has that feeling of comfort and being at home, but also that sense of mystery as to what the adventure will be. And apparently Humongous liked it a lot too, seeing as how they redid it in Spy Fox 1. Also, if you haven't played any of these games yet, please be sure to check them out on Steam or iOS. They're just fantastic, and they're cheap too. Now on to the first and only RPG I ever finished, Earthbound. What can I say about Earthbound that hasn't already been said a billion times? It's got fun characters, a really cool art style, story, and piles of puke for enemies, and oh, the music is awesome too. Lots of great tracks, but only one is going to make this list. Home Sweet Home is one of my favorite tracks in the whole game, and it's so relieving to listen to. Every time you come back home, it's like all the problems outside are just gone. The feeling of normalcy and safety is very nice, especially when going through some of the tougher areas of the game. It's things like this that make Earthbound such a great experience, and if you have a Wii U and don't have this game, then definitely pick it up. Possibly my favorite song for my favorite game of all time is only number 8? Yes. Why? Well, for starters, it's not the most relaxing song in the list, nor is it very long. It loops, sure, but the song itself is only 55 seconds long. But I love how simple this song is. It's very calming. But what makes this song special is where it shows up in the game. When you first get to Rubikava, you're looking around and suddenly...
Tourists.
Then you meet Velasco. But one of my favorite parts of the game is in the beginning of Year 2 when you, again, fall into the water and are rescued by, well, Velasco. This is the conversation that ignites this whole section of the game, and this music really makes it that much better. Also, that moon poem.
It shone pale as bone as I stood there alone, and I thought to myself how the moon that night cast its light on my heart's true delight, and the reef where her body was strewn.
It might be unfair to put this on here considering a lot of songs from Smash Bros. Are remixes, but I'll make an exception for this one as this is where I first heard it. The All-Star Rest Area theme from Super Smash Bros. Melee is just wonderful. But again, it's so short, which is why it's here at number 7. I didn't know this until recently, but this is actually the Save Hut theme from Kirby Superstar. But this version is much better. What really makes this for me is where it plays. Not just that it plays in between the All-Star Mode battles, which is a great idea, but in this park, I guess it is. Personally, I like it much better than the one in Brawl. But then again, pretty much everything in Melee is better than Brawl. Bring on the haters. The future music from Putt Putt Travels Through Time. I'm gonna cheat here a bit and put all of them on here, including the Fun Zone. There's just something about these tracks that I love. They give a more relaxed and brighter vision of the future as opposed to the kind of stuff we see now. I guess what I love about the music here is that it's hopeful. It makes you optimistic about the future as opposed to being fearful of what might happen. At least that's how I always felt about it. And speaking of humongous games, definitely check this game out as well on Steam and iOS. Dragon Quest has always been one of those series I've wanted to get into but never could. I tried to get into Dragon Quest IX on the DS, but my RPG ADD kicked in again. However, I have heard a few tracks from it. This one in particular caught my attention. I'd probably put it a little higher if I loved the whole song, but as it stands, the parts I love, I really love. Plus, there are a few different versions of this song that I've heard that are really good too, so I figured that was enough to warrant the number 5 spot. Also, does anyone have a cure for RPG ADD? Who honestly has never heard this song before in their life? I mean, it's pretty much impossible if you're a gamer. But of course, it's so good that I had to put it at number 4. Now, while this song is peaceful, relaxing, and, well, amazing, what I want to show you all is this remix by Mertorp, whatever, called Calm Waters. This is the remix that made me put this song up so high on the list. Kinda unfair seeing as this really is number 4, but whatever. Definitely give it a listen. Link in the description. Lego Island 2 is one of those games I played the most as a kid. Sure, there were plenty of frustrating minigames and it arguably wasn't as good as the first game, but I still loved it. The soundtrack in this game overall is really good too. But what we're here for is the fishing minigame. One of the most frustrating parts of the game, yet it has the most relaxing song in the game. I just wish it had succeeded in calming me down all those years ago. Big Bertha can go blow a cactus. Super Mario Galaxy was one of my most anticipated games of all time. Back when it was announced, it blew my mind, but having to wait almost a whole year for it after the Wii's launch was torturous. But when I finally got it, I played the crap out of it. Now, is it my favorite 3D Mario game? No, Sunshine's still my favorite, but Galaxy is a really close second. Well, I get off topic easily. The storybook theme from Super Mario Galaxy is either one of the saddest or most relaxing songs in video games, depending on how you look at it. In context of the story, yeah, it's definitely sad, but on its own, it's just really relaxing. It's like one of those songs you put on to help you get to sleep. Now this one's gonna be a bit long, but that's because it's story time! Okay, so flashback to Christmas 2006. Everyone is looking for Wiis. Now, I unfortunately was one of the kids that went Wii-less that Christmas. But my parents told me that if I found one, then I could get one. Every time I went into a store from release until Christmas, I was looking everywhere. And of course, had no luck. But a few days later, on December 28th, I was in the mall, and I went to Best Buy. Looking around doing my usual thing, when suddenly out of the back I see an employee carrying a Wii. I ran up to him and asked him if it was reserved for anyone else, and he said, "No." Trying to hide my excitement, I grabbed it out of his hands and then I checked out with the Wii. A few days later was New Year's Eve, and since my birthday was around that time, my dad took me to get another Wii game. It was a tough choice, wasn't too interested in Twilight Princess at the time, and not much else caught my eye. But then I looked up and saw Elebits. The cover art was beautiful, and it looked like an interesting game. So I got home, popped it in, and played the first level. Really liked the concept of the game as well. Then the level ended, and this played. I love this song so much. Sure, you could argue the story plays a large part in my love for it, but the song on its own is amazing as well. It just has this otherworldly feel to it, and coupled with the game's art, it's amazing. It's another one that's hard to explain why I like it. There's something about it that I just love so much. I know Elebits is kind of one of those games that either people like it or they hate it, but personally, I always liked it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this list. If one of your favorite relaxing video game songs wasn't on the list, then feel free to list it down in the comments below. And if you have any suggestions for future top 10 lists, please feel free to list those as well. Like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I look forward to making more of these. So yeah guys, later.